Hello, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if, you call like that. I'm OK Savage, and today I'm going to be showing you how I drew a caricature of my dog. So yeah, he is the best dog. So basically what I did is I took a video of myself doing the caricature, and we're going to watch it together, and I'm going to tell you about it. Yeah. Right, so I had my my easel set up, fancy. I started off doing the eyes. I have heard a lot of people actually say that you shouldn't start with the eyes when you're doing any sort of portraiture, but also I've seen a lot of other people start with the eyes, and I think it's just a natural kind of thing to do. Like, it feels natural to start with the eyes because you kind of think of personality being located in the eyes. Or, I don't know, I do. A lot of people do. They're a window into the soul and such. So, I do like to start by making sure that I've got the eye shape really right. Because apart from anything, I find you recognise if you've got the eye shape right. And then once you've got that, it makes a good reference for the rest of the face. You can go, oh, okay, well, the nose is amount of eyes long, or the face is amount of eyes wide, which obviously I didn't need to do for this because it's a caricature, so part of the point of it is it doesn't look realistic. It's exaggerated and cartoony. But when doing other forms of portraiture that aren't caricature, having a frame of reference is good. You can also do the thing where you measure with your pencil and such, but yeah. I like doing that if I'm drawing buildings. I find it really helpful. I've moved on now from the eyes whilst I was having that little tangent, and I'm now working on the eyes again because I took so long to say that. No, I've got his nose sorted. I think, to be honest, if I were to do this again, I would maybe exaggerate the nose a lot more because I don't know, really. As you'll see later on, I really went for an exaggerated mouth in this one because I was trying to capture what he looks like when he's super excited. And by super excited, I mean, running back and forth, going, trying to eat everyone's legs. But yeah, I think a lot of the time when he's in a more calm mood, he normally has kind of a very cute face. And I think with dogs, having the big nose makes them really cute. So if I was going to do a caricature of him in a more kind of normal mood, I think I would go for a big, exaggerated nose. Just to really get that sort of cute factor, that, oh, he's sniffing you sort of look. But that's not what I was doing, well, not what I was doing in this one, as you will see. Now I've gone in and started on the whiskers, and I'm just moving on to the mouth. I added a bit more detail into the eyes. I've not started shading them yet, but I've got all the kind of shapes there to show me where I'm going to be shading later on. I like to just kind of put some little reminders for myself. I don't like to go straight in and shade without any idea of what I'm doing. I like to kind of have a visual plan there with just shapes of shadows and stuff sketched out lightly, especially if it's a reflective surface like an eye that's quite complicated shading wise. As you can see, his mouth is horrifying. That is because, yeah, when he's excited he goes into puppy mode, so he doesn't bite, but he likes to mouth things, so he likes to sort of gnash his teeth at you. And he likes to get things in his mouth really gently. It's very cute. One time he caught a rat outside in the garden, and I was terrified because I was like, oh, terrier, he's going to shake it, this is awful. Ran over, going to get it out of his jaws. He didn't do anything with it. He didn't shake it, he didn't bite it. I just popped his jaws open, the rat jumped out, ran off across the street, happy as Larry. Very strange encounter. Anyway. Yeah, I'm filling out some of the rest of his face now, so I've got the ears. Again, if I were to do this again, I think I'd do more of a preliminary sketch for myself to get some shapes in there before I just went in and kind of did it. But I think at the time I'd not even really planned to do the drawing. I was just kind of, it was a very spur of the moment thing, and I had a lot of ideas about it that I just wanted to get down, which is, I think, why I've started off with detail in some places before I've got the basic blocking for other places. Obviously, if I did it again, I think I would block everything out, even his body, because I don't entirely like how I did his body in this one. But you'll see that later. We'll talk about that later. I can't talk today. I'm getting his whiskers in. He's got a scraggle beard. I love his scraggle beard. It's proper soup catcher beard. So I really wanted to capture just how long and kind of crazy that looks. He's a proper scruffy little dog. Like, he'll be straight out of the bath, he'll have just been brushed and washed, and he'll shake himself, and you're like, oh, that is a scruffy dog. So I'm getting a bit more of his scruff in now, just adding some sort of hair to the cheeks. You can see I'm really getting those tufty bits round his ears. I think getting all the little tufts and stuff is really important when you're drawing something hairy, because that's, I think the difference between hairy and fuzzy is fuzzy, you can kind of, it can be smooth, but hairy has to be a bit wild. Adjectives with K. But yeah, anyway, I'm going in and sort of adding a bit more, and you'll see what I do throughout a lot of this is just kind of building up on what I started with. So I've started with this central face, and then I'm kind of working outwards. I'm just getting a little bit of colour in now. I start off, I don't go in too dark at first, because I want to give myself room to kind of manoeuvre. Like, it could have been tempting to kind of go in and do it really dark where all this fur is really dark, but by that same token I won't be able to lighten it up very easily without wrecking an eraser. So it's easier to make sure that you've got these big patches of quite light areas, and then add the dark as you feel necessary. And you'll see that's what I'm doing there. And that's not actually how it's going to look when it's done, but that's exactly what I mean. I get the chance to play with the shadows and see where they should be, and then if there's not enough, I can go back in and, you know, take some of the highlights out afterwards, whereas it's a lot harder to add highlights in than it is to just, you know, draw over them so they're not highlights anymore. I'm going in, breaking my own rule there, I'm going in quite dark, but I knew that I wanted his ears quite dark. I didn't really want many reflections or anything on there. I think partly because I've not done it quite yet, but they're going to have some really big hairs coming out of them, and I really wanted there's big hairs. I wanted the attention to be on them, so I didn't want the ears to be too detailed apart from that. I'm just going round the ears now. And I really like this stage of a drawing when you've got your sketch and you're starting on your shading and you can kind of see it coming to life. Like, when it starts moving from sketch to, oh, this is a drawing. And it's just fun. I really like this stage of a drawing when it's got all that potential there. And you're not quite sure how it's going to come out, but you can see it kind of being born. The body horror of drawing, that's what I'm going to put in the thumbnail. It's not, I've already made the thumbnail. I hope you like it. So yeah, anyway. Also, I'm aware that the thumbnail is clickbaity, but it was supposed to be humorously so. Hence the legit title. I hope. Unless I've not done a good title, that's future me's problem. But yeah, I'm going in, and you can see, like I was saying, you can always darken the areas up afterwards. That's exactly what I'm doing now. And then I've moved on to the nose. Again, I'm using the same sort of technique where I'm starting in quite light and then adding dark patches as and where they're needed. Obviously his nose wants quite a few more highlights than other areas might potentially have, because he's got a shiny little nose, because he's a cutie. A little wet cold nose, because he's a healthy boy. I've got distracted thinking about my dog now. I love my dog. This whole video is about my dog. Where are we? Oh yeah. Oh, it's proper coming to life now. I've not shaded the eyes yet at this point. Despite the fact that I like to get the eyes in early, I don't actually like to shade the eyes early, because I find once the eyes are done, if you're doing it in pencil, it's very easy to smudge them, and usually you've got some really nice bright highlights in the eyes, and if you smudge them, it just takes away from it. Like, I really struggle not to smudge when I'm drawing. I do know a trick actually, which is to put a piece of paper under your hand while you're working. I know this trick. I'm not using it. I barely ever use it. I couldn't tell you why. It would be a good idea actually. I may do that next time. But yeah, I'm working on his mouth now. He's got his crazy mouth. I really wanted it to be really toothy. So he does a really toothy, sort of mad, crazy face when he's in the kind of mood that I was trying to capture, when he's all excitable. I love it when he does that face. It's so cute. I've got distracted watching myself draw now. But yeah, I'm just going in and adding some more shading around the edges. At the moment his beard looks quite disconnected from his face. I will be going in and fixing that. But I think that's one of those things with drawing where you will reach points of the drawing where it doesn't look how you want it to look, and it can be tempting at that point to go, oh, I've done it wrong, let's start again. But I find you can often work through it. Like with this, like, I do remember thinking, oh god, his beard looks like it's a separate entity, not actually part of him, and thinking like, oh, have I done donked this up? But actually, like, I think I did manage to bring it back together quite well, and sometimes it's a case of just experimenting, and, you know, if it does go wrong, it's not the end of the world. It's a drawing, innit, mate? Like, it's not that important. Well, I mean, obviously, it's important, but it's not, like, irreplaceable. You can always start again. But my point is, you don't always have to. Sometimes things are a lot more retrievable than you think they are. Retrievable, like a retriever. Dog joke. Ah! Someone's gonna have a bone to pick with me over that one. Sorry. I think I've gone barking mad. Anyway, getting back to the picture. Sorry for the long pause there, by the way. I'm just telling tales now. I need to stop. My brain's broken. Right, this is what being a parent does to you. You get dad jokes. They just get prescribed to you. You go to the chemist every month and pick up a little parcel, and it's just, you open it up, it's just dad jokes. You drink them. They pop out at random intervals until you get your next one. Anyway, I've gone in and shaded the eyes now. I think, trying to remember my thought process at the time, I think I did the eyes to cheer myself up because the beard wasn't working. And I was like, you know what, I'll go in and do the eyes because I'll really enjoy myself shading them, and then it'll look really cool with the eyes, and I'll feel a lot better about it, and I'll know how to fix this beard. And you know what? Kind of worked. Doing the eyes did cheer me up. And I think that's another thing with drawing. If there's a bit of the drawing that you're really excited about, like, just go for it. It's fun. It makes you feel better about it. I'm just adding some more sort of lines and stuff. You can see my hands there, smudging the eyes. Use the piece of paper. Anyway, stop ranting at myself. Going in and adding a bit more hair. I'm going in quite dark straight away this time because I've already got most of my detail there, so I'm not really worried about getting it wrong because I've got to the point where I can see what's needed, so I'm just adding what's needed. There you can see me going in and trying to fix the dreaded beard. The beard of doom. This is what I was saying I was going to talk about earlier, actually. I do regret slightly how I did the body, because at the time I was thinking, oh, well, he's got this really sheep-like texture to his fur, so I want to kind of give him a sheep's body, which I think was a good call, but it should have been a lot smaller. I think because I was thinking sheep, I went big, but I think it would have looked a lot better and a lot more typical of the kind of style I was trying to go for if I had gone for like a small body. I'm here adding the last sort of details. The little woof was just to show what kind of mood he's in, and as you can see, like, I've done the tail really sketchy. I just wanted to kind of put more the suggestion of a tail than an actual tail, because one of the things about him when he's wagging and such is you can't see his tail. You can see a blur where his tail should be, and so that's kind of what I was trying to capture there with the motion lines and such. Sorry, my brain is dead. Yeah, going in and adding some darker patches just where I can see that there's a bit too much highlight or that there should be a little bit more shadow. I like to save this till the end of the drawing, like partly because I feel like when I can see it I know exactly where it needs to be in a way that I don't earlier on in the drawing, which makes me reticent to do it earlier on in the drawing, but also partly just for practicality. Again, it's that issue of smudging. If you go in and you've got like all these really, really dark, like, you know, like that much graphite pencil on the paper, then you're gonna run into smudging issues where, you know, you accidentally put your hand on the paper and suddenly half of your drawing is just a grey smudge, and that's not what we want. Oh yeah, the angle at the video changes at this point a little bit and the quality goes down slightly. This is because my little light, little ring light, don't know why I had to illustrate that with my hand, my little ring light that I use when I'm recording something on an evening had just given up the ghost. Alright, I'm going in now and I'm just erasing. Again, you remember we were talking about smudging? Yeah. This is what happens. You'll see the difference on the paper, actually. Like, can you see the amount that just erasing a little bit has taken off from the sort of shades of the paper itself, like, surrounding him? It is crazy how much pencil just gets everywhere. I think it's probably why I did so much digital art when I was younger, just to avoid the mess. I say that, my favourite thing I was painting, so it's a bit more messy. Yeah, I've put a little exclamation point over his head. Again, it's just a fun little thing to sort of show what kind of mood he's in. I think this is one of the reasons I like the caricature style, because I think you can put these sort of fun little details around it and everything. It's kind of half portraiture and half cartoon, and I like that. It's very fun being able to add these little cartoony elements to a picture. I think I'm going in, I'm using the eraser on the end of my pencil just to add some little highlights where I wasn't quite careful enough with smudging. I do remember struggling with that slightly as well, because the eraser was getting really, really dirty, like, straight away, so I kept having to rub it at the bottom of the page to get the dirt off the eraser. This is what I was saying about, you know, when you've got really heavy pencil going on, it can be a bit bothersome to actually work with. I'm just going in, putting a little bit more detail on that, just getting the shape better, getting the shading better, deepening the lines on the body a little bit. So they were very sketchy before. I'm just adding some more sort of loopy lines to give that impression of the kind of sheep-like for the body. Oh, and then I'm showing it to Jake. Well, I'm not showing it to Matt is showing it to Jake. And he's wagging. He's wagging, so I'm assuming. Here's the finished image. And that was how I made a caricature of me dog. I hope you enjoyed watching me make a caricature of my dog. And yeah, let me know what you thought in the comments. If you've ever done any caricature work or whatever, feel free to drop a link. Usually you see it, you know, at the seasides or wherever caricatures happen. Thanks for watching, and big thank you to anyone who supports me on Patreon. One of my Patreon supporters has actually, or will have, I've not posted it yet, that's tomorrow's job, but probably by the time you're watching this, will have received this picture mounted on some card in the mail as part of their monthly Patreon package. So that's pretty cool. I no longer have this picture. Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Woo. Have a nice day.